It is pay-per-view predictions time once again on SCW. Money in the Bank 2021 is taking place tomorrow evening. Who will walk away with a briefcase to cash in on the champion of their choosing? Who will retain their championships? And much, much more. And I'm going to be joined by the one and only Jonesy Chats Wrestling. And of course, if you're not aware of any of the participants in Money in the Bank this year, any of the matches going on, this is what we're going to be discussing. So it's an action-packed looking card there for us. And I'm joined by the one and only Jonesy Chats Wrestling. George, how are you doing this Saturday?
Very good, very excited. It's great to be here. We're coming off of a fantastic SmackDown with fans, which is great to see. But no, I'm definitely excited. This is going to be a great weekend of wrestling, that's for sure.
Indeed it is. I tell you what, fans are back in the building and it just gives you that good vibe, doesn't it? I really enjoyed SmackDown. Just seeing that crowd reaction, the pop for certain superstars, seeing who's over. And I think my favorite part about that as well was just seeing Roman Reigns actually, when there was a few cheers, he made sure you're going to boo me. You're going to acknowledge me in a bad way. He just showed what a great heel he really is. So yeah, it's really exciting stuff indeed. It's great to have you here as well, Jonesy. And it's also great to have Renegade Ryan, who's in the chat with us saying, yo, yo, yo. It's great to have you on board. Anyone that wants to get involved, then please leave your predictions in the comments. We'll give you a shout out as we go along. Of course, do it match by match with us so we can give you the same detail. But Jonesy, we've got a stat card. Should we get straight into it?
Let's do this.
Let's do it indeed. I'll tell you what then, we've got a great match to kick off because we've got a kickoff match, which I think quite a few people would have thought this should be on the main card. And of course, I'm talking about the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Mysterios taking on the Usos. And to give my quick opinion of why I think this will be on the kickoff and not on the main show is because I think this will give these two teams time. And I think with the other tag team title match, that's going to probably be shorter. So it'll probably be good from a pay-per-view standpoint, having the Raw one there and this one being on the kickoff. And as well as that, it fits nicely into the Roman bloodline narrative also with the idea of the Usos when they're doing their thing together, they're not in the main event. And when, of course, you're doing things with Roman, you are in the main event picture. So I think that's why this match has made the kickoff. But certainly there's a lot to digest with this because these two teams have faced off twice. There was a bit of a ref botch the first time, which cost the Usos the championship. The second time having their match, of course, then Roman actually got himself involved because he didn't think the Usos could get the job done. That led to Roman and Mysterio. Kickoff match here on Money in the Bank. I'm quite excited about it. Two teams with great chemistry, great working together. What are your thoughts with the Mysterios and the Usos for Money in the Bank on the kickoff?
Really looking forward to it. This looks really, really good. This looks like a huge match for the kickoff show, so I think it's going to be a must-watch. In terms of predictions, stuff like that, for me, the Mysterios obviously have only had the belt since WrestleMania Backlash, so I'm going to go for the Mysterios to retain, and I think this could have another match at SummerSlam. I think this is just the sort of another chapter in the feud between the two tag teams, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's the thing, because what's to say this is one and done? WWE love their rematches, yes, but you know what? This feels still quite fresh. We've had a big break as well with these two, doing other parts of storylines, other part of narratives. Jey Uso was off TV for weeks. Now he's back as well. And the thing is, it's still very, very early days of what's going to go on. And you can turn around and say here that in one way, I really want the Usos to be tag team champions because I want them to be a part of the bloodline. All of them have all of the gold. But the returned. When he came back, he was wearing a white t-shirt, the same as what Roman Reigns was wearing with his head of the table, while Jimmy Uso wasn't wearing white. He was wearing a black t-shirt at that time. And I've noticed other little things as tweaks going as well. With Edge, where he's been doing this thing with the steel chair and actually putting the thing between the mouths with the funny facial expressions. I've noticed that Jey Uso wouldn't tap out where Jimmy would almost immediately. It feels like that not everything's still quite on the same page, in my opinion. So for my feeling, I feel that the Mysterios are going to retain here for that reason. And like you said, we could get another rematch later down the line. Have you got any sort of additional thoughts on that?
No, I think it's one of the things where I really think this will be too soon for the Usos to get the belt. I think if they are going to win the belt eventually, you want to do it on the main show. Like, I think the kickoff show is a great way to start the crowd. They're going to be the first people out there in front of the audience, which is great. But for me, the Mysterios need to retain. As I said, they haven't had it long. They've only had it since WrestleMania Backlash. That's
absolutely true indeed. I'll tell you what, Jonesy, we're going a bit mental in the comments section already. So without further ado, let's get a few of them comments up. you both doing? What a weekend. Buckle up. Don't tell me about it. It's great to have you on board. Thank you for joining us on the stream. We're talking Money in the Bank here. Of course, Slammiversary predictions already available on the channel if you're into Impact Wrestling as well. Yeah, it's a lot to discuss and it's a lot to watch this weekend. Of course, fans be in attendance for everything as well, which is proper exciting. Renegade Ryan says that his pick is the Mysterios because Usos deserve a main card win. Yeah, interesting theory. Of course, if the title change was to happen, it should happen on the main show, shouldn't it, Jonesy?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Renegade Ryan. It should happen on the main show.
It should indeed. And Marta Creel also says, what if Jimmy Uso leaves Jay alone in a match causing more family problems? Don't think that will happen. Mysterio should win. They barely won the titles since the rematch. Of course, it was a WrestleMania rematch. But perhaps a SummerSlam rematch, that's where the belts could change hands there. So, yeah, I mean, the idea there that perhaps one Uso could leave the other one to cause more problems. What's your feelings with that, Jonesy? Could that be a part of the storyline narrative that you'd like to see?
Yeah, I think you've definitely got to keep teasing the tension. Like, although Roman this time does seem a bit more on side, he's a bit more of a fan of them trying to get the belt, which is a change to his earlier attitude, if that makes sense. But for me, I think the Mysterios, they're the ultimate underdogs, to be fair. And I think they want to start off with the crowd cheering the babyface. I think they want to start with a babyface win to start the night, in all honesty, from like a logical sense. It
does seem like logical sense. Obviously, you've not had fans there for so long, and obviously you want to keep them happy at all costs there. And obviously, Mysterio also on SmackDown, they've got quite a good reception coming in there as well, being in Texas as well. So yeah, I think it makes sense here actually because usually that 50-50 booking sometimes plays its part also. We've got Christopher Rotz. I hope I've said that correctly. He says, hey guys, it's Christopher. I'm a huge fan of the channel. Well, thank you for checking us out. It does mean a lot. He says, looking forward to Money in the Bank tomorrow night. Hope you both enjoy the show. We do hope that you do as well. And feel free to join in with your predictions as well. Thank you for checking out the stream. Really does mean a lot. Also, Jeff Samuel says, sup, SCW and Jonesy, good day, mate. Are you ready for Slammiversary tonight? Yes, we are indeed. Slammiversary looks like it's going to be a heck of a show. And of course, like I said, those predictions are available on the channel for you right now if you want to go and check them out. But Money in the Bank, we've done the kickoff. Should we get into the main show, Jonesy?
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's get into the main show.
Let's get into the main show. And I tell you what, we've talked about Roman's name already. And like I say, if he can't be the main event, he usually will take the opener spot. So let's do it as the opener. Let's talk about Roman Reigns going against Edge for the Universal Championship. Paul Heyman obviously going to be in the corner as well. I must admit that with these two, I'm thoroughly looking forward to this matchup. I think it's going to be a fantastic spectacle. I think Edge, since coming back, has been on point with his promos. I love his aggression. I love the fact as a babyface, he's not been squeaky clean. He's not been afraid to say the B word when he needs to. He's there to get the job done. He wants revenge after WrestleMania. Of course, WrestleMania was where he was supposed to win the Universal Championship 10 years to the day after he had to relinquish it. Of course, that was taken away from him. Now he's got that rematch opportunity against Roman. And of course, I mean, he did look quite dominant on SmackDown at the end of it, holding that championship up in the air. Some may say it's a burden. Maybe it's a curse doing that just before the pay-per-view. Jonesy, what's been your thoughts with the interaction with Edge and Roman Reigns?
I've really enjoyed it. It really feels like a brand new match, although we had a lot of intricacies in the road to WrestleMania between the two. It does feel great. I love the way they're building Edge up. They're making Edge look like a credible champion, or challenger even, which is really good. And I like it. I really like the way that they're using the chair. As you said earlier, the spot with the chair every single week has been kind of fun. And yeah, really enjoying this. This feels like a legendary match. This feels like a huge match for me, which is great for the world title, which is what it should do, really.
Yeah, it's got that big fight feel, hasn't it? It feels, I mean, we're talking as of the first match, but technically this will probably main event the show. I mean, Roman is the one that goes on last. Edge is a big time deal. Yes, they were the opener on SmackDown with the 6-man tag, but I think this has got big fight feel. And yeah, I mean, Edge being in the title scene for me, I'm very happy about it. He always feels like a real deal. And you see that crowd popping for him every time he comes out. I mean, we saw it at WrestleMania. We saw it at SmackDown. What were your reaction to see Edge get that pop on SmackDown last night?
It was really refreshing. The fact that he's getting like Austin level type cheers and pops, I thought it was really good. It just shows what a good job they've done at building up this babyface character. And the fact you're able to get that reaction from Roman of boos where he's having to actually curse at the crowd and basically swear at the crowd, that says it already. But no, I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it'll be really good. In terms of kind of a prediction, for me, I do think Roman Reigns to retain. I don't see Roman losing here. This is a Roman Reigns. Obviously, he's got some fantastic wins this year. He's beat people such as Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. He beat Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. And for me, the way I think the finish happens, if I'm being honest with you, I think Seth Rollins is going to cost Edge based on what we've seen in recent weeks on SmackDown. And I think this will kick off their SummerSlam program.
I think you made a great point there. I think it's nailed on for Seth and Edge at SummerSlam. I can't see any other direction. They've been interacting backstage. I liked their interaction last night as well. You can see the face-off. They've been building to it so nicely. Seth should have been in this position, in his opinion. He should have been the one getting the title match. And he's been overlooked by a part-timer. It's got a... What happened with Seth Rollins when he arguably could have ended Edge 7 years ago on an episode of Raw in 2014. I think it was in December time. So, that's got a perfect narrative for that. I don't see how Edge can really do the steel chair thing unless there's a ref bump in this match. But like you say, I can't see anything different than a Roman win. I think we're moving on for Roman Reigns versus John Cena at SummerSlam. And that seems like a heck of a main event as well.
Yeah, it does. That seems like a really big match. The fact that you're putting Roman Reigns over there with such people as John Cena, this is only going to further elevate Roman Reigns. This guy's almost becoming unstoppable, which is great. And the fact we've only had him in this heel format since August last year, it's not even been a year, yet this guy's the best thing in WWE at the moment, easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's been thoroughly enjoyable to watch as well. And let's go back to the comments, shall we, there? Because we've got Renegade Ryan that says that Edge is my surprise. There you go. We've got a surprise prediction. I think a lot of people may want Edge to win it, but yeah, I suppose most people would be backing Roman. But hey, you've got to be bold. You've got to go big. If you think for something, you've got to go for it. Because hey, we could all be in the wrong here. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? So Renegade, love your prediction there. Martin Guerrero says, I have heard people say they want Edge to win because of Roman having no contenders, but honestly, Roman should retain for him to feel cocky about any other. Yeah, you have to agree with that because, I mean, he's underestimating all challenges right now. He is looking like every time, I mean, Roman's on the mic, he's so savage with everyone he talks about. We go back to Cesaro saying how many championship matches he'd had on pay-per-view compared to Cesaro and stuff like that. So I'm there. And like we said, the perhaps direction that could be for Cena afterwards. Would you want to see Roman eventually lose this championship to freshen things up, or are you just happy to see Roman keep the belt forever?
I don't see him losing it anytime soon. I could see him going into WrestleMania next year with the belt already. That's kind of one of them things there. It's just who he does lose it to. The problem is, it would be nice eventually to see him lose it to somebody that's there all year round, rather than return a legend. In all honesty, I know we're going to probably get this WrestleMania dream match next year with Rock and Roman Reigns. That's probably quite likely, but I want to see Roman Reigns lose the belt eventually at somebody that gets the rub from him, because this guy is so great. He's an overness of 100. He's the level of overness to a Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, if that makes sense. We just need an equal babyface counterpart rather than having to bring back legends all the time. That's what I'd like to see, really. Absolutely, I have to agree with that. And I did love actually backstage that there was just a moment where we saw Big E confront Paul Heyman. Now, I wished he'd done it for his own benefit rather than saying about Edge, but still, nonetheless, I mean, it just gave me an idea of like, wouldn't it be great to see that match at SummerSlam? But hey, one can only dream there. Christopher's with us once again. Roman Reigns is going to retain the Universal Championship by Seth Rollins costing Edge the match, and they can both start their feud towards SummerSlam. Just the same as what you said there, Jonesy. I think that is definitely a popular opinion there. We've also got Jeff Simmons saying that Edge is my surprise as well. So there we go. We've got a couple of Edge heads in the house there. And you know what? We're Edge heads as well, deep down. We're a big fan of Edge. We just think Roman's going to retain. That's all. Randy Sam says that Roman to beat Edge and then hold the belt, and then unexpected surprise music starts playing. Oh, bask in his glory. Oh, if only Keith Lee back will be the unexpected and new. And I see Cena versus Roman at SummerSlam. Well, I think that definitely could be the case that we'll get Roman versus Cena at SummerSlam. I miss Keith Lee, don't you, George? 100%. I think it would be great if he was in a pivotal position at this time on this event, really. But I'm sure he'll come back eventually. It'll be good if he comes back. He comes back at the top, really. I'd really like to see that. And also we've got Martin who says, imagine the moment of value that a person beats him, the arrogance will cost him one day. It certainly will with Roman. It will cost him one day, that's for sure. And Randy Sam, just before we move on, we will say maybe Roman Reigns will win the belt and then start a vignette and we'll start playing, and a guy will be driving a fast car, Fast and Furious, then Vin Diesel will come out of nowhere. And what you say, Roman's got a lead. I mean, to be fair, anything can happen in WWE. I don't see Vin Diesel coming in, if I'm honest. But hey, I like the idea. I mean, celebrity power in WWE could certainly be fun there. But Mysterio's win by Jay leaving Jimmy. And also we've got Martin Career saying, thinking about it, why wasn't Jay upset on Jimmy during his absence? Jimmy says that he was going to be Roman's right-hand man. Well, there you go. I mean, there definitely is some little bit of friction still there amongst everything. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to go down. We're going to go down to the next match, Jonesy, if you're ready, because it's time to talk about the Championships. That's right. We are going to be talking about the phenomenal AJ Styles and Omos going to be taking on Eric and Ivar. That's right. We're talking about the... I must admit, I'm not feeling too much. So I'm going to keep this one quite brief.
AJ and Omos are not losing them championships anytime soon. Certainly not in this feud. I'm a big fan of the Viking Raiders, but I don't really like the way they're presented as characters on TV. Not because of the Viking, not because of the Raid. I just think they're more than trying to present themselves as ladies' men and eating turkey legs. They're about beating people up, and that's what I want to see more of. They've got great tag team chemistry, but I think they're another team. And I'm not such a fan either, Jonesy, of the fact that the way they've been building the match where, the Vikings just pop out of nowhere and distract people. I don't think that's been too cool. Jonesy, what's been your thoughts with this match?
Yeah, I think it's okay. The positive of this really is the fact that tag team titles are going to be up for stake. This is the first tag team title defense since WrestleMania, so great to see it on the pay-per-view. In terms of the match, I think it's okay. It's very predictable. I think let's look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles, this is a guy that's on a losing streak as a singles wrestler. He's been losing. His last win, like in a singles capacity, was against Elias back in May. So this is something you don't really know. He's lost to both the Viking Raiders previously, but there's only one winner here, really. As you said, I think AJ Styles and Omos are winning, and this is all for Omos, really. Omos is the one that doesn't seem to be able to lose at the moment. I think this will be a quick match.
Yeah, I mean, like we said there earlier on, I mean, I think this is why this is on the pay-per-view and not on the kickoff, because this one will have probably less time. This is probably like a 6-7 minute match where I think Mysterio and Usos probably can go for like a good 10, 15, 20 minutes if they want to. But yeah, I mean, we've kept that one brief there for you. Of course, feel free to join in with your predictions if you want to. West Coast Pop has said that Roman got booed last night. Vincent's plan of working, so he'll retain, build NXT type Balor up to take the strap off him. Zax. Now, that's the thing. Finn Balor returned last night. Would Balor be a good opponent for Roman Reigns somewhere down the line?
I think if you, I might be dreaming now, Steve. It might be the heat here. It's quite hot today, but if you did the Demon versus Roman, that could be fun. I think the Demon definitely could push Roman and maybe take the belt.
To that one, I would love to see it. And we've got DWE in the house. It's going to be a great show. The crowd was electric for SmackDown. They certainly were. We thoroughly enjoyed watching SmackDown this past week. It's great to have fans back. That real emotion. It's proper nice to see. We've got Jason as well saying that Edge and Omos retain, and I agree with SCW. We all have opinions, and what will make this show awesome. I like the Viking Raiders, but they're not winning, and I'm glad it's something new. And that's the thing. Actually, that's something we do have to say positive. It's something new, and it's good to see the Viking Raiders on pay-per-view. It's actually nice to see AJ and Omos on pay-per-view. They've not been on there so much since winning those Raw Tag Team Championships.
I've got to put another positive out there. This is continuity. WWE have done well. WWE obviously built this match back on June 7th, where they become number one contenders, the Viking Raiders. The fact that they're eventually paying it off, it's great. It's a great long-term story arc. I think it's very good. Credits to WWE. It looks good. I think this will be a decent match. Anything with AJ Styles generally is really, really good anyway.
Absolutely. No, I have to agree with both of those points indeed there. Christopher goes on to say to us that AJ and Omos is definitely winning, and I can see RK Bro taking the title off them at SummerSlam. That's something we could possibly see. What do you reckon, Jonesy?
Yeah, I think that's likely. I think that's a very good prediction from Christopher. I think that would be a dream match in the tag division. It has to happen eventually.
It certainly does. I'd have to agree with that indeed. Mutterchris says, what happened to AJ Styles? The phenomenal one. Raw hasn't been his house. I'm going for Omos and AJ. Well, yeah, I mean, AJ's kind of been that tag team guy. He's been there mentoring Omos, perhaps till Omos is ready. How long should this partnership go on for, Jonesy, as this sort of mentorship? Because AJ eventually does need to go back in the singles division, surely.
I think if you could build up some more tag teams, then fine. But for me, I think it's got to last at least the Royal Rumble. I would expect Omos to go on a massive babyface push at the end of this. I think that's the route they're going to go down. The fans kind of gravitate to him. It's really good. He's getting that mentorship under AJ Styles. I really like the fact he's improving as a wrestler week on week. And it's clearly apparent to me that this guy's got great potential. He's got a great look, and I think he could really go far in WWE.
I have to agree with all those points there. If he definitely is ready to go on his own in the ring, I think that would be pretty darn awesome, and look forward to when that day actually comes. And two more comments, then we'll move on to our next match then. Alicia Stansbury says there's upset that it's not Cesaro. It's not been pushed. So stupid. Push Seth Rollins again. Lost twice at WrestleMania. I believe that's Kevin Owens there. Cesaro deserved better. Seth Rollins come off a loser. Roman Reigns comes off a winner, and she doesn't like Seth's character. Well, of course, we've discussed before that Alyssa not really a big Seth Rollins fan there, but is it been disappointing Cesaro's not in Money in the Bank just before we move on?
Yeah, the booking of Cesaro since he's been feuded with Roman Reigns and dropped off, it's not great, really. I think this guy, the momentum he had's kind of gone. He really needs to move to Raw when the draft's open as soon as possible, really.
I think that would be a good move, at least to the mid-card championship, perhaps the United States title before perhaps moving higher up the card again. Marta Career says that I hope we get to see some amazing segments and good match finishes during all this momentum WWE has. Well, they got momentum last night. That definitely was a good thing to see. Let's hope they can keep it up. Apparently exciting things are on the way this Sunday and Monday. Let's see if we're going to feel exactly the same as we go along. But I tell you what, let's go. Up next then, let's get our screens back in the right position. And we'll go on to the Raw side of things. We've got the Raw Women's Championship. We're going to be talking Rhea Ripley, going to be defending her championship against the Queen, Charlotte Flair, the opportunity. I think she's the one getting the opportunity, in my personal opinion. I'm going to say that right here, right now. Now, these two have probably not had the best storyline in WWE. Let's be quite frank about it. But what I will say is I have been moaning for months about the way that the storyline has been structured, the fact that Rhea Ripley, in my personal opinion, the fact that Charlotte took that WrestleMania moment away. I've kind of forgotten all that in the last few weeks. I've tried to read the story we're actually being told rather than saying to myself the story I wanted to be told. And the story that I feel that I'm being told here is rather the fact that Rhea Ripley, of course, we can't tell if babyface or heel, Rhea is trying to one-up Charlotte Flair. She is trying to become... she can do and then some. She can do it better. So for me, I've been slightly a bit more forgiving of this storyline in the last couple of weeks because I'm starting to get a bit more on board with it. Am I on my own, Jonesy? Are you enjoying this feud a bit more, or do you still have a few gripes with it?
I think it's okay. I think from an in-ring perspective, it's fine. It's just a bit dragging on a bit now. I think for me, it's filler. They are waiting for people to come back, it seems. This is a match because they haven't got anybody else that can go against Rhea Ripley, it seems. But I think in ring it'll be fine. I'm just hoping this is the end of it, really, in one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It feels like now it's a couple of pay-per-views, and obviously it's still building off what they've done previously as well. So yeah, I agree. This kind of needs to be done. And I think before giving an answer here, because I think we've discussed this off air before, so I kind of know where you're going to answer with this one. But do we see that the winner of this match going on to take Becky Lynch at SummerSlam?
Yeah, 100%. I think Becky, this is the spot really where Becky needs to come out and make a scene, if that makes sense. This is why when we go to a prediction, I'll put my prediction out there now. I don't see the title changing to Charlotte and then losing to Becky. So I think for me, Rhea Ripley to retain. And then I think you could do Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. If you really want to have Charlotte in the SummerSlam match, you can make it a triple threat if you have to as well. But yeah, for me, I think Rhea Ripley to retain. And yeah, I think this is Becky Lynch's next opponent, in all honesty.
I really like all of that. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You know why that makes so much sense as well? Because if Rhea does beat Charlotte in this pay-per-view, she has outdone. The story makes sense. It's got its finish, if you know what I mean, where we've seen all the build-up here. And Charlotte was the one that was actually still showing that she was on top at Raw this week. 50-50 booking that WWE likes to do. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got to say, though, the booking of Rhea Ripley since she's come back up to the main roster has been outstanding. She doesn't lose. She hasn't really lost the match cleanly. If that makes sense, the only time really she's looked in any danger was against Nikki Ash, and she had that one loss, which wasn't even a proper loss. And you look at Charlotte. Charlotte's been one that's been losing to Asuka. She hasn't been particularly solid. I know she got that DQ win at last month's pay-per-view over Rhea, but for me, it's a bit of a mismatch. And this isn't a Charlotte Flair that we're going into the NXT title that we saw at WrestleMania last year. This is a Charlotte Flair that's on a bit of a losing streak. There isn't the confidence there. So for me, I think Rhea Ripley has to win. This would be a shame to see her lose the belt here, though. I think if she loses to Charlotte, it doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with a lot of that once again. And the thing is, like, I mean, we've said there, the 50-50 booking. And if Rhea wins that match and takes on a returning Becky Lynch, which I think will possibly happen on Raw rather than the pay-per-view, but hey, they want to give us surprises, so it could happen at the pay-per-view. I just think it would give that big bump to Raw. But hey, if you get it at the pay-per-view, you probably want to check out Raw knowing Becky will be there. So there's different ways and means of why it would make sense. But you've got a fresh matchup with Becky versus Rhea Ripley. That makes so much more sense for me at the moment than Becky and Charlotte, because we've seen it so many times previously. But like you said, the triple threat option is there as well. I think a lot of this ticks a lot of the boxes. And yeah, the in-ring, it's been good. But like you say, this needs to be it. So, yeah, I think we should get to the comments, because I tell you what, it's going a little bit mad in here once again, Jonesy. They're liking that everyone's getting involved. Thank you so much for all your comments so far. Jason's here saying, whoa, Becky Lynch return. I know it's meant to be the theme tune. Unfortunately, my windpipes just aren't there for you today on the singing point of view, but I do appreciate the sentiment. I hope Becky Lynch does make that return. Martin Curious says, I honestly don't like this program. It feels a bit bland for type of women's wrestlers that they are really, but he's got Ripley as the win. I think that's a fair comment. I mean, it's not been everybody's cup of tea, this feud, and I can understand that reasoning. Christopher says that Rhea Ripley is going to retain and finally have that win over Charlotte Flair. That was supposed to happen last year at WrestleMania. Have to agree there. And after that match, Becky Lynch return and have a face-off with Rhea. That face-off thing really does feel like it would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think so. I think the interesting thing is this is a Rhea Ripley's going into babyface. So it's two baby faces against each other. Are we going to see more of a devious Rhea Ripley when Becky comes back? I think, for me, I'd love to see Becky come out and then you get Rhea Ripley then literally just sort of attack her from behind or something. You really got to get this hatred behind Rhea, because for me, the fans are going to cheer Becky over Rhea every day.
Yeah, definitely at the moment. The thing is, when we kind of got that story of Rhea kind of like showing I can be that dirty player as well, and I can become what the Queen was, and I'm the new one of it, then it makes sense of why we're keeping Rhea in this sort of heel format. That would actually be perfect in logical. So, no, I completely agree with all of that. Marta Korea says that Rhea won't redeem herself, and this is because it will be 1-1. So down the line, Rhea will have to leave it all behind. Yeah, I guess they will probably have another match at some point, but please, let's on the line. I think that would make more sense to do. But we've got James says, you talk about Edge Pop. Yes, he's a legend, but man, that Becky Pop when she is back, yeah, I imagine that would be special, wouldn't it?
100%. Out of everybody, I think that's going to come back. That's the one really that I think will really be a reaction. I'm really excited for it. I think the fact that you even forget that we did have Becky Lynch in the Thunderdome for a short while before she went away with the pregnancy and stuff. So I forget that, but the fact to see her back in front of the fans, it's going to be a magical moment. I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We've got one more that we'll take on before we go to our next match. Then Alicia is saying, why did Seth Rollins win that feud with Cesaro? Says it's so stupid. We could have a Seth and Roman in the babyface character. Well, I think the reason they want to do this simply is because they want to build up for Seth versus Edge. Seth will be the heel and we'll get Edge as the babyface.
There's a lot more longevity in Seth. That's the way to look at it. Seth is very much more of a company man. I think in that respect. I think with Cesaro, they never really got behind Cesaro in all honesty. He's a great wrestler. Everyone knows how great he is. It's just they look like they could do much more with Seth. Seth and Roman is something they could do eventually, and I think Seth and Edge is a bigger match than Cesaro Edge, which is probably why they built Seth up. Basically. Yeah, I have to agree with all of that there, Jonesy. I think you're bang on the money with all of that. So I'll tell you what, we're going to move on into our next match, and we've got the WWE Championship. That's right, it's Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, against Kofi Kingston. Will it happen again? Will Kofi win the WWE Championship? Fans are there. You know fans will get behind Kofi as well. It's going to feel electric in the building. I can't wait. This is one of the matches I'm really looking forward to. Have sort of built things going up, because there was a point where Kofi, there was going to be, can you do this on your own? Then they kind of changed it, and I got a bit disappointed because Xavier come back. Initially on Raw last week, I was a bit like, hey, why is Xavier beating Lashley? But by the end of Raw, I completely changed my tune, because Lashley, let's be fair, he has softened up a little bit. It's kind of become a case where it's like Lashley's ladies, the champagne. It's become more important than being the Almighty. And it looks like Lashley has had enough, and we're going to get the Almighty back at this pay-per-view. How do you see this going down? Yeah, I think this has been built up majestically. I think it's been built up really, really well, considering obviously Kofi got this shot from the help from Drew. He was able to beat Lashley once. I'm enjoying it. It's a great feud. I really love the intricacies of MVP. He's been a great involvement in this feud. But for me, I think we're going to get Lashley retaining here. I think Lashley, based on what we saw at the end of Raw, this is a guy that needs to destroy Kofi. This isn't Kofi from 2019. This isn't Kofi Mania again. This is a Lashley that has had the belt since March 1st, has been pretty unstoppable, really. For me, he's got his edge back. The women have gone now. Let's see Lashley back to the guy that we really got behind going into WrestleMania.
Absolutely. And Joe, it's a really fun little anecdote as well. One of those ladies that was actually on that pre-recorded Raw was on Dark Elevation competing in a match. So actually was on TV, was actually in both companies at the same time last week, or this past week on Monday. So I think that's the first one to ever do that. So it's actually pretty cool. I haven't got her name on
That's pretty cool, Steve. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's I didn't realize she was a wrestler either. So it's really cool little bit of trivia if anyone ever finds out. And if you do know, let me know who it is in the comments below. We'd definitely like to give that a shout out as well. But no, I have to agree with you. I think Lashley has to retain here, and to be judging at the length of the event, I think Lashley arguably has to be dominant as well. I want to see fans get behind and sympathise with Kofi, try to make the comeback, but it's not enough. I think Lashley has to win in that format.
Yeah, I think based on what's probably next for Lashley, he much needs a win here. That's all I'm going to say here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, we think that there's going to be a return, would we imagine, for SummerSlam?
Yeah, if you kind of want sort of the full dirty details of that, then yeah, we're going to have a live stream later today with Rated R at like 5 p.m. Eastern. It's the Wrestling Report. There'll be a lot of stuff like that on there, so just check that out and we'll go into a bit more detail. But, definitely, I think you're spot on the money with a return, Steve. But, yeah, Lashley has to win here. Although if Kofi did win, it'll be a great shock. Imagine Kofi wins and then someone cashes in on him. That could be really good and different, no one saw coming.
That would be pretty cool, especially if it was Big E. Could you imagine if it was Big E? That would be so fun, wouldn't it? But we'll be talking about Money in the Bank matches in a couple of seconds' time. But yeah, do check out Rated R later on today with Jonesy on that. And also, my latest Q&A went out actually earlier today. Instead of the Sunday, it's out earlier today. And we do have the discussion as well about the idea also of who that potential person could be. They could be returning as well there. But let's go into the comments below. And we've got Jason here that's with us right now. It says, yes, electric Lashley theme. And we've got the theme kit in there as well. Again, I'm not going to do it this time.
I could just imagine it. I'm just hearing it in my head. Da, 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 da.
It's done perfectly. It is actually perfect. I love the fire emojis next to it as well. You can see it's literal fire, and that just shows what Lashley's going to bring to the table, I think, this Sunday. But it'd be shocked if Kofi was to win, but Lashley is finally a psychopath once again. But if we get that Lashley back that we had before, I think we'll be very happy here. Lashley, the ladies' man, will sadly break our hearts and dismantle the power of positivity. What a great comment. That's been worded so well, Martin. Love that.
These next two comments, this comment and your particular next comment is probably comment of the day so far. The next one.
Let's hope he stays on the chair anyway. But Randy Sam, yes, the next person, she pulled a Rick Rude, of course, one for 90s wrestling fans. Of course, remember with Monday Night Show, and of course,
he was in DX and NWO in the same,
wasn't it?
On the same day, basically.
It was indeed, yeah. It was so weird to see. But yeah, Martin, I hope R-Truth trains the main roster up for a roll-up since everyone can't kick out of it. I guess Vince's special formula. Oh dear Lord.
It's a fair point.
I think we've lost control in the comments, Jonesy. I'm just going to throw it out there.
They're all good.
They're brilliant, aren't they? They're absolutely brilliant. We would, if we could pin all of them to the top, we would. But Christopher says Bobby Lashley is winning this match, and then on Monday, either Goldberg or Brock Lesnar come out to challenge Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. We'll give you a hint, Christopher. We agree with you on that, and it's definitely going to be one of those two.
Yeah,
Randy Sam says, Brock, please. Brock, please.
Yeah, we can hope.
We can only hope. West Coast Podcast as well, and House of Wrestling says Bob will retain with help and the newest member of the Hurt Business, Byron Saxton. Oh, this is genius.
This is good. This is genius booking. I think some of the comments and the ideas. This will be great. Yeah, maybe. I can see it. My original dream was with this whole match was that we were eventually going to get Xavier Woods cost Kofi in turn and join with Bobby, but based on Raw this week, that's obviously not going to happen. But a swerve would be nice. It would be a nice way to further a storyline on, that's for sure.
It certainly would do indeed, wouldn't it? Randy Sims says, Jonesy, you read my mind. Biggie cashing on Lashley and Kof. Low blow. We shall see. Interesting. It definitely does. It's food for thought, isn't it? Food for thought. And listen, a Wyatt build push Seth Rollins again. I guess really just not a fan of Seth Rollins. Alyssa today, she's on a Seth hate, but I can promise you, we will be coming to Seth and we'll be discussing his chances in Money in the Bank later on in this video. And Alicia, I've got some good news for you. You might enjoy our prediction on Seth Rollins in Money in the Bank this year. That's giving a little bit of a hint there for you. We've got two more comments before we go on. Two Money in the Bank matches. I'm out of topic, but Corbin needs some of Seth Rollins' drip. He certainly does indeed.
He needs Cameron Grimes to ban him out. That's what he needs, I think, to be fair. But that's another tangent.
Absolutely, indeed. And Randy says there's Byron helping Lashley. I like it. 2.0. Be like Jonathan Coachman. Remember those days? Oh, we do. We try to forget them, Randy. We really do try to forget them, but it is there indeed. But I tell you what, it's going mad in the chat room, but I think everyone is here for Money in the Bank predictions. They want Money in the Bank ladder match predictions. So, Jonesy, are you ready for the first one?
Yeah, let's do this. Looking forward to it, man.
Let's kick off then with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We've got Zelina Vega, Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Ash, Liv Morgan, and the women's tag team champions, Natalya and Tamina. So that is your lineup then. Of course, Tamina was the mystery 8th person that was announced on WWE's Twitter and full social media this week on Thursday. A lot of people were speculating it would be Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. I personally didn't think it would be either of them because neither of them need Money in the Bank, in my personal opinion. But was you a bit disappointed it was Tamina?
Yeah, for me, I don't get what the delay was with announcing her. Like her and also Natalya both were kind of not really underwhelming, but I get it. There is genius there behind it to a certain point. You couldn't have put Becky Lynch in this. Let's be fair, Becky Lynch is that over. She doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase to elevate her. This should be a briefcase that elevates somebody from mid-card to a main eventer. So for me, that was never going to kind of happen. But I think these two are solid wrestlers. It's just a shame the tag team division's kind of been neglected with them being this match, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, obviously, especially now with the fact that Mandy Rose and is now back on NXT as well, it seems now for the long-term future. And so that means that program's completely finished. It looks like it's moved on to Shotzi and Knox, which will be obviously opponents further down the line, perhaps too soon for this pay-per-view. So many rematches in such a quick time, perhaps it feels it's a bit much. But I must admit, I do agree with everyone with the idea that Tamina perhaps it's a bit underwhelming, but let's look at the positive side of it. She was really over at WrestleMania. Loads of people were cheering for Tamina. I couldn't believe when I saw that. Everyone was really good. Everyone was really happy when they won the Women's Tag Team Championships. Why not give her a chance? Why not do it? If for Money in the Bank, if people are behind her, I think it'd be pretty cool. And here's the other interesting dynamic. This is different to the men's. We've got actual tag team champions in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So will they work together? Will there be a moment where they work against each other? So there is some fun dynamics with it.
Yeah, there is. I think it's been really, really kind of interesting the way they built it up. It's such an interesting mixture of wrestlers that have been thrown in this match, like the way they've had different intricacies to the storyline, like Zelina Vega coming back randomly, like just rather than just being revealed at the pay-per-view and stuff like that. But for me, looking at the poster and looking at the people in this, I thought it was a Suicide Squad poster, really, in all honesty, when you put the people together. But no, for me, I think it's looking forward to seeing this. I think this is a really good match, which is open who can win it. I can't say to you now, normally on a pay-per-view, I could say, yes, this person's going to win. I'd be quite confident, but very open. It's going to be good. I think this should be really, really exciting. There's some great options in this match with who can win.
Absolutely. Well, let's go into prediction territory. And I'm going to quickly just call the picture up again and just give my thoughts of everybody quickly as we go through. I mean, Zelina Vega came back, which was a shock, but of course she lost very, very quickly. All the Raw women lost in an 8-women tag team match a couple of weeks ago, which ruined their momentum. But I believe Nikki Ash won on the Fatal 4-Way this week. Liv Morgan has been actually on good momentum as well when you look at things. And of course, Natalya and Tamina have been losing matches to Shotzi and Nox. So no one's really going in with loads of momentum. It feels like Nikki Ash and Liv Morgan are the two that are going in with momentum right now. Do you put them as the favourites, or do you think that that's going to go against them and someone else will get the Money in the Bank briefcase?
I think for me, there's one or two people I see winning. It's either probably going to be Alexa Bliss. Alexa really is on the rebound. She's obviously not had many matches this year. She's got that whole aura behind her that she seems to be able to go that extra layer. And I think her with a briefcase can make some good television, particularly when Bray comes back. I think that could be really good to see, like sort of her deciding what she does. In terms of the other person, it's got to be based on WTV. If I look at what they've done recently, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, that's obviously started already. There's a lot of tension there. You can see that that's going to be a great storyline they do. For me, I think Liv Morgan's the one that makes the most sense out of everybody. But if either one of them to win, I'll be happy. The rest of them, I think, are just kind of thrown in there. And I just think Asuka, it's great to see her in that spot, but she definitely does need to win the briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, the thing she won it last year, so it's good to freshen things up. I think that's the thing with that one. I mean, obviously, I don't see Zelina winning it. I don't see Asuka or Naomi winning it. I'd like Naomi to win it because I think if she was traded to SmackDown and then she became SmackDown Women's Champion, again, it's that bloodline thing of everyone holding the goal. I like having that. Nikki, I can see winning it, but of course, winning on Raw, that makes me always think, maybe not. Liv Morgan as well, like you say, she's had the momentum, but I think in a way, people might gather more sympathy for her if she doesn't win here and get behind her. Rather than having like the briefcase and failed cash-in, people might get more invested, like, well, she should have won this match, get upset on Twitter, and then actually an excuse to push her. And like you said, this feud with Sonya Deville, the Women's Tag Team Champions, been there, done it, so I kind of, by process of elimination, I've got to agree with you. I think Alexa Bliss is walking away here with the briefcase. I can see it happening along with you. And like you say, she can cash in on someone at SummerSlam. And I mean, could you see? I could see it being a short-term cash-in. I can't see how she would keep it for very long because Alexa Bliss hasn't been champion for so long now. It's been, believe it or not, been around 3 years since she was Raw Women's Champion.
Wow, it's quite a large stat, isn't it? Quite a long time without being the belt. But no, I think for me, it'll be interesting. I think the thing with this is whoever wins it is going to have to kind of go on. And they are going to be going against potentially two babyface champions as we carry on. So for me, it indicates it would be kind of a heel. Although Alexa's gone a bit more babyface in recent weeks. She has got that heel tendency. Let's see what remember what she did to Shayna Baszler. She cost the Fiend at WrestleMania. I think we need to see that Alexa Bliss back. Not so much the stupidity that was going on, but just the instinct of really not caring what she does and the fear factor and that lot. But for me, it'd be good. I am going to put something out there. I do think Nikki Ash will do some sort of spot off a ladder where she pretends to fly to get to the briefcase. I think that's got to happen. But really, really interesting. What I really like about this is everybody in this match has got a great amount of ability. So from an in-ring perspective, it's going to be really, really fun to watch.
I have to agree with that wholeheartedly. I love the ideas that you suggested there for that. And I think Nikki Ash does seem to do that indeed there. And let's go to the comments because once again, they are going mad once again there. And we've got Zach saying there that I think Tamina was disappointing. He was disappointed. It was Tamina. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can see people's point of view of it, but I think in a match sense, it will be okay when it goes down. Martin Greer says, what if one or two of the competitors in the ladder match, men's and women's, get attacked or don't appear? Is that out of the realm of possibility? It's not out of the realm of possibility, and I do think there'll be definitely someone being costed in the men's. And I think if you do it in both matches, I think it can take away the impact of doing it if you do it twice in the show. But it certainly has potential of happening in this show because there's so many superstars with rivalries going on outside of this that I can definitely see it happening, Jonesy.
Yeah, I could see that. It'd be great intricacy if they do it. It'd be great sort of to further on the storyline if they do it. But I think we're going to have everybody in the ring, but there's definitely room for some sort of involvement or some sort of feud to come out of this, starting towards the biggest pay-per-view of the year next month.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely will be probably booked as the biggest pay-per-view this month of this year, I reckon, judging on how things have gone. Listen, do agree WWE need more babyface? Last time, do you agree in My Hero, don't lose... I'm sorry, Lissy. I don't think I can read that one very well, unfortunately. But I think that I'm not sure with this one. Jonesy, help me out on this one.
So, do WWE agree that they need more baby faces than heels? And do we agree that they need somebody to be able to book and challenge Roman Reigns? That's kind of where I read
There
that.
we go.
But yeah, as we said earlier, Lisa, I kind of agree with the points. I think the thing is they need to have somebody that's an equal Roman Reigns eventually, rather than bringing back legends all the time. As we said earlier in the stream, it's they do need to start building up baby faces better because both your champions are heels at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. No, if that is how it is, and sorry that I just couldn't pull that one apart, but no, I think Jonesy, you're on the money with that, and I agree with it 100% there. Martin Carrillo says if it's Tamina, I guess then it's there's no one meaner. No, absolutely. I think you're right on that one. And Martin also says that I'm really feeling that Alexa or Nikki will win. I would go for Liv to get it, but I'm going for Alexa, sadly. Well, there you go. I think that a lot of those predictions don't make sense there, and I think those are the three most likely, I think, in my opinion, to take it away there. Christopher says that my two picks are Liv Morgan and Nikki Ash. They would probably be my next two after Alexa. We've got that just says Liv or Nikki. And Christopher also says that I have a feeling that either Liv Morgan or Nikki Ash is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alexa was to win it. And Martin's saying here, what if the lights go out and Lily's on top of the ladder and just throws the briefcase to Alexa?
Oh my God, no, please, not that again. Not anything with Lily. I think for me, I'm up for a bit of some sort of supernatural element to it, but they've done a good job of getting the doll off. The thing is, there's going to be fans now, so all that supernatural stuff, they can't do it in front of fans. So I don't think that's going to happen. Thank God.
I hope not. I really, really hope not. We've got West Coast Pop as well. Of the last comment, we'll go to the men's one. At SummerSlam, Usos beat Rey and Dom. Then a surprise cash in by Naomi on the Bianca and Sasha match, and the Bloodline runs SmackDown. We could only hope. That would be awesome. I'd love to see it.
Sounds like a really good idea. Zach's coming up with a good storyline. Let's give him a job in WWE. These guys' booking is great.
Absolutely. And Newman Co says my two picks are Oscar or Nikki Ash. So there you go. We've got two more selections there. And Alyssa says that WWE doesn't book babyface is good. Look at Seth Rollins. What happened to him? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great on the face run last time. But
let's be fair with that comment. What destroyed Seth Rollins last time in terms of the babyface run? It was the match against the Fiend at Hell in a Cell where he was crying in the ring, and everyone was just kind of jeering. I think that's kind of what ended Seth Rollins' babyface run, in all honesty, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, it was the way that was booked was not very good. Let's be fair. Well, we're then going to go for our last match we're going to talk about on this stream, and then we are going to talk about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And of course, we've got Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Riddle, Ricochet, John Morrison, or Johnny Drip Drip if you prefer, Big E, King Nakamura, and of course, Seth Rollins has been very popular in this stream here. So yeah, I mean, we've got 8 competitors here. I think I can rule out immediately Ricochet and John Morrison. I think they will be the spot monkeys of the match. For me, looking at it, I think we can narrow it down to a few names here. I think Seth Rollins, he's going to go off to face Edge. I don't see him going to have the briefcase. I suppose it'd be a fun concept, but he was holding the briefcase at the end of SmackDown. That's usually a dreaded curse, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're spot on with what you said in terms of people ruling people out. The two you said, they're there for the spots. Done some great work in recent weeks. Their Falls Count Anywhere match on Raw this week was great. They're a great addition. What I've got to put it out there to WWE, they have built potentially the greatest ladder match of all time. I think the lineup in this is outstanding. I think the fact we've got so many people that are in this match that have not really been on TV in a premium spot, it's really, really good. I think it's clever. I think sort of 6 or 7 months ago, we never would have seen this. If you compare this lineup to what we had last year at Money in the Bank, it's night and day, isn't it? It's so much better.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, this, like you said, there's so much potential with this match, and so many people to have that showcase to really stand out, and then hopefully get a big push going forward, regardless of what position they're currently in. I mean, when we look at others, we mentioned earlier one potential about someone that could be thrown out of a match. I think Jinder Mahal is going to take Drew McIntyre out of this match. Now, whether it's done before the match or during it, I'm going to say it's during it, and I think that will lead to them having their match at SummerSlam. Would bet, you've already said you like it.
Yeah,
Do you think something that will happen? Yeah,
I think you're spot on. I think you've been saying this for absolutely months, Steve. The streams we've been doing, you're saying Jinder and Drew has to happen, and they've obviously started it. They had it on Raw the other week. He smashed up the bite this past week on Raw as well. Yeah, this has to happen. I think this is a great way to get Drew out of it. So I think Drew with a briefcase, unless you're going to do Drew versus Roman Reigns down the line, Drew doesn't need the briefcase. I think the further he can get away from the title at the moment would be for the best interest, really, of him. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think right now, just a break. Just give him a break. Maybe move him to SmackDown in the draft. I think that would just what Drew needs right now, just to freshen things up, start again. You said you need a big babyface to go against Roman. There you go. Drew McIntyre. Sorted, done, signed, sealed, delivered. King Nakamura. Look, what's your thoughts of him and Rick Boogs? I'm enjoying the rebirth of Nakamura. The entrance is back to what it used to be. The people are getting behind him. He's great as a kid. It's a great to see him sort of have some sort of involvement. He's another guy there that's got some great ability, but he's not winning this match for me.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the entrance. I mean, like you say, Nakamura's got his edge back. There's definitely something about that. Poor Corbin. It's expensive him, but hey, perhaps some people are not too happy on Corbin right now. There's a little pun in there for you if you found it. Yeah, at the same time, I don't see Nakamura winning this either. So it leaves me down to 3 people, and I think these are the 3 most likely, in my personal opinion. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, Jonesy. Is Kevin Owens, Riddle, and Big E. Would you see these as the 3 most likely to walk away from this match with the Money in the Bank briefcase?
I think you're right about 2 of them. I don't see Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens, for me, I'd love it if he did win it, but this is a guy that when he has been put in that pedestal, like against Roman Reigns, he unfortunately couldn't get the job done. I don't trust WWE to give him the briefcase, but for me, I think the other 2 you said, yeah, you're on the money. They're the 2 I would go for. If I had to put a bet on somebody to win, it would be one of them 2. For me, I think the one that's winning, though, overall, I think is Big E. I think the Big E sort of really, it's overdue. This guy last year, we really thought he'd be at the world title stage already. He could do some great work. I could see him winning, and then I think he'll go to Raw. That's personally what I think works for me. And I really think that he could be great. But the other one is Riddle. Riddle has been one of the most improved wrestlers in 2021 in WWE Raw. He's done some great work. I just think him winning the money case briefcase when he's still got so much story with Randy Orton to happen, I just don't think he's ready yet. But so I'm going to go Big E.
The thing is, a lot of stuff you say that makes sense. You can't argue with a lot of it. I mean, Big E right now, it's been overdue. I mean, Big E's been on in WWE from NXT now since 2012. So we're talking 9 years now. When is Big E going to get that big push towards the main event? This feels like this could be the right place, the right time. He's got some of his mojo back since losing the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. It's great to see Big E in this sort of position. So definitely see him as definitely a strong potential. Riddle, right now, Riddle is on fire at the moment. Riddle is kind of that superstar that you just think a lot of shows on Raw are being built around him. But one thing that's interesting with Riddle as well is he's hurt his foot, which is perfect for a narrative for a Money in the Bank ladder match, because how can you get up the ladder when you've only got 1 foot to get up there? So that could be an interesting storyline narrative as well. And could Randy Orton come back and help him, or would Randy Orton turn around and hinder his opportunity? Because Riddle obviously kind of accidentally made sure Randy couldn't get in there. And also then when Riddle tried to redeem things, had a whole story booked for him on Raw where Randy was missing and couldn't get the job done at the final hurdle. Would Randy be forgiving of this? He is the Viper after all.
No, I think. So say Riddle did win it by some miracle. Riddle wins it. He then does an attempt cash in, and not this week, the week after. So he does a cash in on whoever the champion is going to be at that time. We believe it's Bobby Lashley, probably. So Bobby Lashley. I could actually see Riddle going to look like he's basically getting the edge off Lashley, and then Randy Orton will actually cost him. But for me, I think they need to do this tag team. Okay, bro, I've got a lot more work. I think if they do this well, they could get the tag team titles at SummerSlam, have a great run, and then this is a WrestleMania match for next year, Randy Orton Riddle for me. I think it's going to be that good. They've got that much build behind it, and I think for me, this match I have to see because I think it'd be great.
I have to agree with all of that. And here's my reasoning for it. Why? If you go back to Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens back into, I believe it was 2016, going into 17, the Festival of Friendship, the stuff where the way it was built over so many months, they have that potential, okay, bro. So I hope the same as you, that Riddle, it's just not yet. And you can really make Riddle that megastar by doing that match at WrestleMania next year. Like you said, there's a lot more mileage in RK Bro. So I'm going to rule Riddle out, even though he is probably a backup option for me. But I would turn around and say, looking at things, I will just talk about Kevin Owens very quickly. He has been saying to Paul Heyman on Talking Smack for the longest time, I'm going to come back for Roman Reigns. I'm not done with him yet. I'll get that briefcase and then I will cash on him. And the thing is, with a Money in the Bank briefcase, I think Kevin Owens wins the belt. And I think that's finally gives him that nudge.
I'd love that. I would love it. I would love Kevin Owens to win. I really would love it. Like, I think this guy, when he was Universal Champion, apart from the end, which was the Goldberg run, which we won't talk about here, we're on positive thoughts. I think he'd be a great Universal Champion. Like, I think even if he cashed in on Lashley or something, Lashley versus Kevin Owens, if they did do that match at SummerSlam, for example, would be a dream match for me.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to say very quickly because we go to the comments shortly to then close things up. I want Kevin Owens to win Money in the Bank. I'm predicting Big E. So there we go. I want Kevin Owens. I'll be cheering for KO, but I think Big E is going to win, and I will not be disappointed if Big E does that. So there we go.
Can I just ask one last thing before we go to the comments of you, Steve? What is this the most excited you've been about a Money in the Bank briefcase ladder match, or is it just me? Like, I'm just a level 10 for this match, not just the fans coming back. This actually feels like a huge match in 2021 wrestling.
I have to say that I think that not just this match, I think the card in general, I think this has the potential to be the best Money in the Bank pay-per-view in over a decade, since we're talking the summer of Punk, we're talking 2011. I think it's got that potential to be that good. So yeah, I have those vibes that you have, and particularly with this match, there's so many great mixture of styles and philosophies and attitudes, and I just think we're going to have an amazing ladder match here. Like you said here, this has got, it's arguably a dream selection of competitors in a ladder match. It's hard to say. If you could fit in like Cesaro in there, I think would have been a great fit. I mean, they had so many people they could have put in there this year, and I think you wouldn't be disappointed. I think that's what's really good about this ladder match. But yeah, I mean, that's what we think. Should we go to the comments, Jonesy?
Yeah, let's go to the comments.
We've got quite a lot of them. So let's go up to where I believe where we were. So yeah, we have got Noob and Co. We're actually starting still on the women's stuff before we go into the men's one. So we might get Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie at SummerSlam. Yeah, our judging off the Raw this past week, is that something you'd want to see?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think the thing with it, it's one of them things where they've got to do something. But for me, yeah, it won't be Eva Marie. It has to be Doudrop. Let's be fair. Doudrop's the one that's doing the work. Eva Marie won't be in a match, I don't think.
I have to agree with that. I think Doudrop would be the one then. I don't think I'd want to see Eva Marie in that spot just yet at the moment. Not been given enough confidence on her return. And like I say, Doudrop is doing all of the work. SC Williams, good to see you here. Asuka the turn here when this pay-per-view, climb on the ladder and then hand Alexa the case. Wow. Now that's some creative booking. Yeah, deep indeed there. Would you be a fan of it?
Yeah, I'd like it. I'd like that to happen. But it sounds a bit WWE 2000. Like, I just can't kind of see WWE doing that. But what a storyline. But then what would be the aftermath of that then? Is it that Alexa's controlling Oscar, I guess? Maybe
that's why she's been dancing for the last year. We just have not seen it. It's called long-term booking. Yeah, that's what it is.
She's upset at Kairi Sane probably or something, I don't know.
Absolutely. Who knows? Essie Winslow says that Oscar does need to turn heel in this pay-per-view. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what will happen. I don't think it'll happen just yet if it's going to happen. I think maybe when the draft happens, we might see a few things mix and match then. We've got Jason. It says that my pick, Naomi to win. Decision cashing on Rhea Ripley. Yes, I say it. Then we know who really is the babyface. Naomi and Rhea is the heel. I don't mind her heading to SmackDown for a bit of a refresh. I mean, it could be fun. I'd be down for Naomi to win it, because like Naomi in that position, even if it was on Raw, who's to say that Roman and the Usos don't go in the draft of Raw?
I think it'd be great to give Naomi something to do. Ever since obviously Lana unfortunately got released, I think Naomi's been a bit struggling. So for me, if she goes to SmackDown and she's then got that heel edge, could be a great addition to the sort of Roman Reigns dynasty. That's for sure.
Absolutely, indeed. Then West Coast Podcast, I love this as well. Rollins and Morrison in a drip off.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Super Soaker on a pole or something. I don't know. It's just
it has to be. Got to get the dripstick in there.
I've got a fun spot
in that wheelchair.
Sorry, Dropstick. I've got a fun spot while I remember. I'll tell you. So I think the Miz is going to have the water pistol, the dripstick, and he's going to actually spray it on the ladder. Then Morrison's going to slip off. I just think that's going to be an obvious spot based on what Zach said.
Yeah,
can you imagine it like the slip and stuff? Can be better than title slip that time.
Definitely. The thing is, though, like, just to say very quickly on it, I mean, if someone could actually do that and make it look cool and not hurt themselves in it, John Morrison is so good with the way he moves around. So, yeah, maybe it will go down, and they will want to do some form of comedy spot with the Miz if he is at ringside. But cool, I hope the Miz will be all right if he's there in a wheelchair at ringside. People are going to be flying everywhere with 8 of them. So let's see how we go down. Martin Guerrero says, would you guys be down for Nakamura winning? I mean, he's never got his match against Roman. He got screwed. That's a very good point made there. If it happens, then it'd be nice storytelling if they mention it. Well, yeah, it would be great continuity, wouldn't it? And like we say, King Nakamura seems to be back in some sort of momentum going into this match. I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't have faith that he would defeat Roman. I think that's the thing. I want to see someone who wins the briefcase this year actually go in and cash in successfully. So that's where I would say that I would prefer that over this, unless they would give Nakamura the big one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be great if you won it, but yeah, I don't trust WWE to go the course of him, really.
No, absolutely not. And Martin Greer says that I'm going for an insane prediction. That's Kevin Owens. I don't know if people would like to see, though. As I said in the stream, I would love
to see it.
I would love to see it. Let's get KO back where he deserves to be, and that's towards the top end of the card. Whether it's on Raw or SmackDown, I could care less which one it is. Just put him towards the top, in my opinion. Christopher says that I feel the men's man in the back ladder match winner could be Riddle, Seth Rollins, and Big E. Well, that's definitely a great selection of superstars. It's sensible picks. That's what we can say there. Noob and Co. We're going back to Asuka as a heel because someone has to take on Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. WWE really butchered her babyface.
I think they've already got somebody coming back that can sort of get rid of that is a heel. I'd say that's what I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything else unless you want to elaborate on that, Steve. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, it could be a boss move. That's all we can leave it at that, I guess, with it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Martin Guerrero says, if Liv or Big E don't win, fans will get mad. And our top picks to win. I think fans will get mad. But I think
especially about Big E.
Big E, yeah. I think with Liv, though, that could work into our advantage long term, as I said earlier.
Do you think this is a spot where potentially that I forgot to mention earlier that Sonya Deville cost Liv Morgan the match, because Sonya's obviously rumored to be coming back to the ring soon. So do you think that Sonya does cost Liv? They've obviously got this hatred going on at the moment, haven't they? They've started this McMahon Austin storyline in recent weeks on SmackDown, it seems, besides this week. Yeah,
they have done, and it'd be cool to see how it's going to play out because I mean, it's fresh people in those roles as well, and they need to use these authority figures to good use. So I'm kind of down with it. And then Sonya transitions back into the ring. This could be a program that could get both of them higher up the card. So yeah, I mean, it's pushing new blood, new faces towards the top. So I'm really invested in that idea. I think it would be fun to see. Martin Guerrero also goes on to say here, honestly, why would Riddle win this match? He would still get a tag title match anyways, so it'd be a waste of the briefcase. Sorry, guys. That's the thing, though. He did say on Raw he would actually cash in on the tag. That would be a waste, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a waste. I think the thing with it is he's only there to try and sort of impress Randy, to be fair. He's only there in representation of Randy. So for me, yeah, I think that's one of the things. I think if he did sort of win it, it'd be interesting if Randy Orton basically steers into tagging on the cash title, on the cash belts, tag belts even. That'd be interesting if he steers into cash in on them rather than the world title.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a first anyway. I don't think we've ever seen that previously. Noob and Co, Big E or Rollins to win is the pick there from Noob there for the men's. And we've got Ricky Glow as well versus Matt Riddle to climb the ladder, and then the lights go out and you hear a scary sound. And then you see Randy in a closet. He said the lights go out and the Fiend is back and on the ladder.
This is all really good and elaborate, but I think it's fine. But then there's that line. As long as he's not chucking up goo like he was like previously on Raw and stuff, then it'll be fine. But that sounds really cool. I'd quite like that, but I just don't trust WWE to do it, unfortunately.
My answer, we're at the Thunderdome. I don't see how they could pull that off now. I just don't see how it would work. But hey, I love creativity. I love creative ideas. So Ricky, loving your suggestion, my man. Mascara says as well, what if the Money in the Bank winner is a babyface? Of course, then while cashing in on a heel, making a double turn between him and Roman. Well, that could be an interesting idea. A double turn in the scenario. I think someone like Kevin Owens would be perfect for that. But I don't want to see Roman go face anytime soon. Just
definitely not. Roman has to stay heel. Like, this is his best work ever.
Yeah, literally, he's on a roll right now. Jeff Samuel, Big E win the case and then cash in on Lashley on Raw will be so dope to shock Raw for that moment. Yeah, I mean, we suggested this idea earlier. Jeff suggested it here. Sounds like an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, it does. Sounds great. Let's hope he does it.
Let's hope he does it. It would be good to defend the New Day as well. Martin Guerrero says the potential and the outcome for the men's ladder match is true. It's truly pressure. WWE has to deliver because there's a lot of future stars. But that's the thing, and that also makes it kind of a match that you feel to yourself, well, hang on, this could work really, really well because so many future stars. It feels win-win, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does definitely.
We've got. Then we'll be closing off the stream just to say, but I want Ricochet to win, man. That'd be so awesome. Will you be mad, Jonesy, if Morrison was to win? It's unexpected, but could be a good storyline when Miz is back and Miz is jealous of his best friend.
No, I wouldn't be mad if Morrison winning. Morrison's got fantastic ability. Let's be clear, Morrison and Ricochet, if WWE was booked like other promotions, they would probably be main eventers already, so I wouldn't be upset. But yeah, if I'll put it out there now, if John Morrison does win the Money in the Bank briefcase, I will. I'll recite sort of Shinsuke's Nakamura's anthem next time I'm on your channel, Steve. I'll just do an impression for the whole video or something, like 10 minutes.
That is seen as ridiculous. That is a verbal contract.
That'll probably close your channel, to be fair. So let's forget that idea, mate. To be fair.
It's too late. It's out there now. If people are liking it in the comments, we might be stuck with it. Yeah. But I think now Jonesy is praying that John Morrison doesn't win this match. I personally wouldn't be against it either. My only thing I would say very quickly is that I thought The Miz on the build here would have said that Morrison's going to win this case. So when he comes back, he can cash in again and become champion again. And it kind of playing off that sort of, because they had a bit of friction beforehand, didn't they? Yeah. And I just think because Morrison's meant to be a bit not quite there with it, like he's meant to be a bit dumb, he could have been like, no, of course, I'll do it for you. No, I'm going to go for me. He would just played it well, but of course, it was never going to happen. Curtis John, this man, Money in the Bank is so unpredictable, and that's a good thing. I don't know who can win, but I hope Kevin Owens wins. Heck yeah. Send him to Raw, cash in on Lashley, and what if Kofi put the upset then on Lashley? Well, I mean, it would be a big upset, and people would be down for it, but Lashley then to get written off, and MVP to introduce a new client for a heel Owens. Well, I mean, MVP has been in the Performance Center. I mean, could you see some of this stuff going down?
I'd like it. Just tell my dream would be that sort of MVP accidentally cost Lashley, and then we get Keith Lee as MVP's client. I think that would be sort of a dream for me, but no, I can't see it really. I think MVP and Lashley seem to be united at the moment.
Yeah, they do indeed. And Alicia says that WWE doesn't book babyfaces well. I mean, I think it depends which babyfaces you've got. I mean, Drew McIntyre would be one I would say it's been booked well. There are a number of ones
for a while. Like he was good last year. Last year he was the best babyface probably, but I think they booked Bianca Belair pretty well as a babyface. That's generally one I could say. But no, the men's, I would struggle to tell you a good babyface other than bringing someone else in.
I'd say Riddle's a good babyface right now.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but I suppose, I mean, they do struggle with some at some point. So, I mean, there is that there. And we've got a question for you, Jones, as well from Curtis that says she can take out Natalya, and that is where they could get a veteran, take out a veteran. I think it's Sonya Deville to do that.
That could be good, but then, yeah, thank you for the question, Curtis John. I think for me, no, she won't take out Natalya. Sonya Deville's meant to be a heel. Natalya's a heel. Yeah, it don't make sense, but I appreciate the question. But for me, it would be fun. There's more chance of taking out Liv Morgan. I think that would work. Your comment would work with Liv Morgan 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed there. And Curtis Jones also asked where Sasha, this pay-per-view is going to. I hope we get surprised. I think Sasha will come back probably next week on SmackDown.
She's due back, yeah, soon.
I reckon next week SmackDown. Martin says, imagine if it's faked his injury and screws Morrison from winning. Wow, that'd be cool. Doing a Mark Henry. Will the suit be salmon? That's what I need to know. Yeah,
no, that'd be good. The thing is, if Morrison and stuff were booked properly and they were up that level, like if they were level of Roman Reigns, this would be a big thing that you could see happening. But because Morrison's only generally an opening act, unfortunately, on WWE Raw, they won't do anything like that, unfortunately. I don't think in a main event match.
No, I don't think so either. And Martin Carrera does just say, imagine the interaction with Lily and Riddle.
Oh my God, that'd be horrendous. So you can imagine he flips his sandals off and then Lily comes out of them. I just think it's causing me nightmares now, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd rather not, but thank you, Martin. I do appreciate your involvement on this stream. And Christopher does say that I hope you both enjoy Saturday with family and friends and watching you guys. Enjoy the Money in the Bank tomorrow. You too, Christopher. Thank you for checking that stream. Really do appreciate you being involved. And our last comment before we close off the stream is going to be 2 crazy nights upon us in the wrestling world. We'll change beyond excited. Hope we'll all be satisfied through all outcomes. And we do as well. We are really hopeful that it's going to be very fun indeed. And Curtis does actually say, lol, Jonesy, liked your reaction to that last one there. And thanks to everyone that's been checking out the stream. Before we do close things off, of course, Money in the Bank is going to be on Sunday. Thank you for checking us out. And of course, Jonesy, you've been doing some videos on your channel as well. So yeah, plug your channel, tell everyone about it, why they should be subscribed there if they're not already.
Thank you very much. So my channel is Jonesy Chats Wrestling. You'll be able to find it on YouTube as always. What we cover, we just cover all the stuff, news and rumors, stuff like that. It's an in-detail preview of Money in the Bank. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, please come over. I will be on the Rated R for Wrestling channel tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's called the Wrestling Report. It's going to be a lot of like nitty-gritty dirt and stuff. There's going to be a lot of like rumors and stuff. If you want the in-depth stuff of what's going to go down, follow it at your own kind of risk. There probably maybe some quite big spoilers there, so only tune in you want. But yeah, on the road to 200 subscribers. So if anybody can come across and subscribe, I'd be really grateful. Really looking forward to seeing you over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic content as always. And also, yeah, Rated Wrestling for the Wrestling Report. Always fun as well. Make sure to go and check that out also. And Curtis John does say that he's looking forward to Slammiversary. We are as well. Slammiversary should be an awesome show. And just to say, there are some videos that you can check out on SCW right now if you want to, after this goes off right in a second. We've got the latest Ask SCW that went out today, answering your questions in the wrestling community. You see some of the topics that are involved in that video right there for you, including Finn Balor returning to SmackDown. We've got SCW Rewind. If Money in the Bank is your flavor, want to do a retro review myself, Wrestling and Waldridge, 2011, the Summer of Punk. Go and check that out. We've got Slammiversary as well, match card predictions, debuts and returns. Of course, Slammiversary is tonight. Who is going to be appearing on this show? What's my predictions? Go and find out for that right now. And last but not least, 10 potential mystery opponents for the Prazo at Slammiversary, including opening that forbidden door. Not just WWE releases, there's quite a few interesting ones in there as well. So yeah, feel free to go and check those out. Please like, share, subscribe. As soon as this video goes off, really appreciate if you can hit the like button and leave a comment down below as well. Helps with the algorithms and all the boring stuff of YouTube, but it does help the channel grow a lot. So really, really do appreciate it. But Josie, I want to say thank you for coming on the channel today. It's been great to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's been great to be here. Thank you as always. And as always, please, everyone, if you're not already, I'm sure you are, subscribe to Steve's channel. Do some fantastic content. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that's been watching as well for your comments as well. It's been great to have you all involved and some great entertaining comments you've had as well as some fantastic predictions and ideas as well. Enjoy yourselves over this weekend. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy the pay-per-views. Have yourselves a good one. And I'll see you very soon once again here on SCW. Take care. Have yourselves a great day. And yeah, see you next time. All the best.